Welcome back to another episode of Rock Boys Football. The University of Kentucky land a big one on the recruiting trail as 2025, potentially 2024 quarterback Cutter Boley commits to the University of Kentucky. This is a team that I just wish we could talk a little bit more about. If many of you guys don't know, and I don't think a lot of the listeners know, I used to be a big Kentucky fan. You go back to the Cash Daniel days. You go back to the John Schlarman days when they were winning 10 games a season. Like, this was a team that I really, really liked. You can ask my brother. I used to call him after the games and let him know, and he didn't really care as much. But this was a team that I was a big, big fan of. So, again, I'm excited to talk a little Kentucky football, and I really do think they landed a very talented and potentially kind of program-shifting quarterback in Cutter Boley. Now, before we get into it, again, just want to say thank you to you guys. Like, all the support you guys have shown, whether we're talking high school recruiting, whether we're talking the transfer portal, whether we're talking spring practice sessions. You guys have been absolutely awesome with the support. So, again, if you do enjoy it, consider subscribing to the channel, helping the fellas out. We can't thank you guys enough for all the support you guys have shown. 5,300 subscribers on the channel. That means the world to me and my brother. So we appreciate that. Let's get into Cutter Boley a little bit. And the first thing I want to talk about is the reclassification rumors. And we're going to talk about what he brings and how he fits in this Kentucky offense, right? He is a kid who's turning 18 years old in the summer of 2023. So this summer, he's going to be an 18-year-old kid. So he could be enrolling in college right now. He's in the 2025 class as we speak because of some academic stuff during the pandemic. Now, it does sound like as the weeks go on that he's going to be a 2024 kid, which I think is really big because you look at this class for 2024 for the Kentucky Wildcats, it's slow. What is the best thing you can have to a slow class is adding an elite quarterback like a guy in Cutter Boley. Why do you say that? Because he's going out playing 7-on-7s with some of the best wide receivers, some of the best offensive and defensive skilled talent in the country. And so he suddenly becomes kind of your main recruiter for Kentucky to fill out this 2024 class. And again, you take a look at the state rankings for Kentucky this year, a state that University of Kentucky really does dominate. It's a little bit of a down year. So adding a guy like Cutter Boley to recruit outside of the state, I think could be really big. The next thing I want to talk about here is just the discussion about where he should be stacked up as a quarterback in this class. You see a lot. There's a reason we're using On3 and not 24/7 Sports right now, because you see On3, they're much higher on Cutter Boley than most, right? 30th best player nationally in the 2025 class, the 5th best arm quarterback in the 2025 class. You take a look at what Rivals thinks of him, the 12th best player nationally, the 2nd best quarterback in the class. So there's some recruiting services out there that really see this guy as a program changer, a bona fide 5-star. You go over to 24/7 Sports, maybe not as high, but there is so much to like about Cutter Boley. And even more, I think there's a lot to like about how he fits into this Kentucky offense. You know they want to run play action. You know they want to get their quarterback. You want to establish the run game, get their quarterback outside the pocket, let him be an athlete, let him throw on the run, let him see the field. Cutter Boley, you watch his film, like that's kind of where he excels. And we're going to take a look at some of his highlights from his sophomore season. Keep in mind, there are some really, really, really impressive throws on his tape. We're going to take a look right now and then talk a little bit about how we see this Kentucky program moving forward. Pulling up Cutter Boley, though, you see just the natural arm talent and the easy arm strength he has. And again, the frame, he's going to fill it out. He's 6'5", 200 pounds right now. He's not playing at 200 pounds when he gets onto this Kentucky team. That strength coach is going to work him out a little bit. But you see, just any throw that he's going to be asked to make, he makes. Up the sideline, very, very easy. He can layer his throws. I mean, that throw right there is something, and I'm not going to pretend like I'm some sort of special high school quarterback scout, but you see a lot of quarterbacks have the arm strength. Like Dylan Raiola ripping it 70 yards. Like you see a lot of quarterbacks, they can do that. What I think is more special right now is being able to layer your throws. So you see like that, like so cover 2, it looks like, and he's just going to layer right over the defender in between the safety. Really, it's just an impressive throw, especially for a kid who is right now academically a sophomore in high school. And you see him, this is another thing you want to take a look at, is he's really good, like mobile out of the pocket. I wouldn't say he's an elite athlete, but he's a guy that's really hard to bring down with the frame that he has. And then he just has an absolute hose too. Like don't get it twisted. I'm not saying he's a finesse thrower, because this guy does have a cannon and he can really rip it in there. This is really exciting for me because Kentucky's not really, for one, the quarterback position before Will Levis and now Devin Leary got into Kentucky. Like, that was a problem. That was not a good position. I remember Kentucky winning 10 games with Lynn Bowden taking the Wildcat snap sometimes. Like, this Terry Wilson was solid, but they were winning games in the SEC with just a really good offensive line, a really good running back, and Lynn Bowden taking Wildcat snaps. That's where their quarterback situation was at. You get an elite passer like a Cutter Boley, you pair him up with a coach in Mark Stoops, who's done a phenomenal job building this program. That's when I think things can get really special for the Kentucky Wildcats. And again, you talk about national media recognition. Mark Stoops in this Kentucky program doesn't get nearly enough love for how consistent they are in the SEC. That is a hard conference to win games in. And Kentucky consistently making bowl games, consistently putting 8-9 win seasons together. This is a team that I think wouldn't call them a sleeping giant, but this is a team that you give them an elite quarterback to build up, to develop in Cutter Boley. Like, this could really get special for Kentucky. And again, the last couple elite quarterbacks you've seen have been guys transferring in. So they're not really being developed in this scheme. They kind of come in, our stopgap guys. Will Levis was an elite talent. Devin Leary is an elite talent. Having a guy who you can get in, work up, be in the system for multiple years, that's when I think things can get really excited for this Kentucky team. So again, a program that we don't necessarily get to talk enough about, but a program that I personally love, and I think they got a very good one in Cutter Boley. Wanted to keep this one short, but did want to talk about a recruit that is very exciting for the Kentucky Wildcats, and I would look for this 2024 class to really take off a little bit. Again, if you do enjoy the content, consider subscribing to the channel. We appreciate you guys for real. Thanks for checking us out, and we'll talk to y'all later. Peace.